All right, we're back for part 2 of this little learning scenario I put together. I have put out the supply points. I put 10 up here in Bogorodics. Bogorodics. That's a tough one. Bogorodics. All right. Anyway, I put a supply dump up there. You know, they've waited to move out, and they've got 10 points. Then down here in Dankov, I've given the Soviets 5. We'll see if that makes, I don't know, I'll have to tweak that maybe. So I gave them 5, put that in the city there. I kept that here. I moved the Germans up 1 hex to show maybe they've come in off the map. And then we'll try this and see what happens. I was looking at some of the scenarios in GB2, kind of to see who they always had going first. I pre-recorded this video, by the way. I'm actually traveling right now, so I'm here, but I'm not here. I'm here in spirit. All right. Setup order, Russian, German. First player on turn 1, German. Okay. Setup order, Russian, German. First player, German. I'm just kind of going through these real quick here. It looks like Germany gets to go first on a majority of these GB2 early book scenarios here early on. Victory, Red Army returns the favor. Victory, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of weird stuff in here. Okay, still looking. Russian player goes first on the 26th November 42. That makes sense. That is a very big scenario that I'm not even ever probably going to touch that. Just setting it up gives me a headache looking at that. Campaign scenarios, German player always seems to go first. But I think I'm going to roll on mine because I want it to be as chaotic as possible, right? You're looking at this thinking, oh, this would be a steamroller. What if he gets to go first? How would he set up his defense? So looking at the turn sequence, there's weather determination. 1 player, it's irrelevant, rolls to determine the weather. Now, we looked last video at the weather table. It's June 1st, 1942. All is good with the Wehrmacht right now. Looking at our weather chart, it's auto dry. It's very hot, I would imagine, on the Russian steppes. So we don't really need to do a weather. We've got that marked there, dry. So we don't really need to do that. Then when we go on to first player determination segment, which is basically a die roll off. With the player with the higher roll likes to be first or second, which is weird. You think there'd be some modifier in this, like some command structure modifier, but I know you're probably thinking, why make it more complicated? Red is German, not red is Soviet, sorry. Well, looky there. Soviets are going to go first, communists up. Aircraft refit phase would be next. There is none of that. I'm still going out of the book, and since I'm traveling, I'll take your suggestions from the first video and apply them later on, but we would be here. And then when we go here, we're not going to use any reinforcements. We're going to go here, the big one, the movement phase where everything seems to happen. Now, if the Soviets have the first turn, you'd want to take this marker here and flip that to the, hey, wait, where'd it go? Whoops, my bad, that's the month. I'm with it. I'm going to flip this over to the Soviet side. That is in the wrong spot. Yeah, right there. 1 June 1st. I think that's the way you use this weird, wacky wheel thing. Okay. So the Soviet player would get first movement. There's no formations here. Oh, you know, they're going to need more supply points, I think, because the Russian player is going to have to pay individual movement costs. I didn't think about that. Okay, so what would we do here? Well, I mean, they're obviously not going to be attacking. We'd probably want to pull these breakdown units back behind the river, use a natural defense. So let's take a look at the fueling rolls here. So the fueling options are going to be interesting. I may not have put enough supply out there, so this might be kind of bad. But let's take a look at your fueling options. Now, if there's not a formation out there, you can't use that special formation fueling method. So right now you'll want to take a look at 12.5 and the 4.3 version of the rulebook. To help you, that's on page 23. Now remember, combat units that use truck or tracked MP, right, not leg, are going to need to expend, or you're going to need to be fueled up before they can move. So you're looking at this one and the HQ, which is currently in it's not in move mode, but it uses truck. And if you need a quick refresher, I would tell you to look at page 4 of the rulebook. And white is leg, and red is tracked, and black is truck. So actually the 5 might be enough because these are all leg units and they're not going to need supply to move. But we do need to fill up this, we would have to fuel up this brigade here, this Soviet Armor Brigade, the 17th, if he wants to get up in a defensive position. So let's do him first. I'm not going to, gosh, there's so many different options in this game. 14. Man, I gotta tell you, that's a tough decision when you have to like figure that stuff out. We're gonna fuel them up definitely. But then the question is, where do we want to put them? And I think I want to put them in the bend of this river. Or are the Germans going to try to go around the bend of the river? I would if I was a German player. They'd have 16, and that's wide open. Let's see here. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can go right around that river, huh? So maybe we put them as a flanking guard up here. I think we might do that. And technically the red symbol behind the unit symbol here is mechanized, whereas, you know, on German it would be considered armor. So it's a mechanized unit. So, I mean, he really doesn't have to go far, but, you know, this is open, so it's easy to wrap around. So first thing I would do if I was a German player would be to get around that river bend. What is this river, too? I kind of need to look that up, don't I? Oh, I think that's the Don River, is it? That seems like it's too small to be the Don. That would be a minor river, but I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent on that. I don't have the map below this on here, so I can't. I should have attached it because now I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Anyway, I would definitely go around this as the German player. So you can always move 1 hex, though. I wonder if I can take abuse of that. Well, I mean, 6.1c does say, if eligible to move in a phase, is he considered not eligible if he's not fueled? A unit without enough movement points can always move a minimum of 1 hex. Well, he's got enough movement points. So technically, I think you'd be breaking a rule there. Okay, we can't use the formation method, so we're going to look here. I'm just going to walk you guys through this, how I'm going to explain it. Let me just back that out. We can't use this, okay? This can't be used because we don't have a formation. You can pay 1 SP to fuel a multi-unit formation. This lasts until the next friendly cleanup phase. So you would flip, oh, what happened there? You would flip the marker over. The Germans have that up here, and that's you're quite familiar with the last time I showed this, where you would flip this over. You can see my other videos where you'd flip that over to show that you've fueled the entire formation. Well, the Soviets don't have the luxury of doing that in this video, so they're gonna have to skip that. Ooh, my phone is super hot. HQ method: pay 1 SP to fuel an HQ itself plus all independent units in throw range. And I'm assuming that that would be pretty much everyone's independent, or you can do single unit. Pay 1 token per unit. This method can be used by any unit, and whether it's independent, multi-step, or part. This fuel lasts for the current phase only. That seems to be the way to go. But we can direct draw from the supply dump in here. We don't even need to throw it. So I think we're gonna, I mean, this is 5 SPs. So technically that's 20 tokens. That should be fine. I may have given the Germans too much supply. So we just basically need to get 1 T onto this unit, and we're just gonna move them up, I think, to block off a roundabout move. Now the movement effects for other river, if you're thinking that the Germans might just, or for minor river, blast through that. I mean, they could. Let's take a look. Minor river, movement, minor river, oof. Yeah, it's +3, +5, and +1. Yikes. That's nasty. So kind of going through it is, I don't know. It seems like it would slow them down like a lot. So I don't think we'll be doing that with them. So just thinking ahead. So that, you know, if you're the Russian player, you might be thinking, wow, you know, that river is going to slow them down. Who knows? It might be creepy. Maybe they got snorkels on the tanks, right? Okay, so we'll be using the direct draw method. And if you want to know what that is, if you're learning the game, page 22, 12.3a, you must be within 5 movement points of a dump or a hex that is adjacent to it. Needed supply can be drawn from 1 or more dumps within range. Always use truck MPs when counting back to a dump. So, I mean, it's just 1, 2. Well, truck MPs for a village. I don't even think I don't even think a village comes into play here. Yeah, village is nothing. So we're gonna, all right, let's get our stacks organized here and subtract the 1 token that I need. Brutal. All right, let's get that all set. We're gonna fuel up with direct draw, and is there a way I can show that with some sort of a marker? I don't know. If people are trying to follow along, I'll have to try to think of something. I don't think I have anything that tiny. Okay, I lifted these guys off so you could check my math. So we need 19 in here. So there's 16, 17, 18, oops, and 19 left. Stack just got a little bit bigger. But I'm really thinking, unless they're defending, you know, that's all they're going to need, I think. I am so bad with tweezers. I'm starting to just, like, not like tweezers. What I should have done was use the Moscow inset map for this game, which has the super big hexes, and that would have really freaked everyone out. So he's fueled up. I mean, he's in open terrain. He's got 6 points. Do I want to go here or block here? Because then he would have a zone of control. 1, 2. I definitely, well, I just thought of something. Boy, this is, what will the German player do? He's got to take this town. Oh, man. Now, if I were to limit this scenario to 1 turn, I don't think we'd see the German player going that far. It would take him too long. But I wanted to give it like 3 turns, like June 1st through the 8th. So that would be the 1 turn, the 5 turn, and the 8 turn for the month. I don't know. So the length of the scenario really will affect what the German player wants to do. So that's something I got to look into. I might have to take notes on this, actually. All right, if you guys look back in my video playlist, you'll see D&D 5th edition, where I was creating a scenario. I was redoing all of the secrets of the saltwater marsh, and then they actually redid it, so mine was worthless. But I was actually rewriting the entire module and adding NPCs and stuff. So this is almost the same process. All right, so what are the things we need to consider here? Is the length of the scenario and how it affects the German player, right? I'm going to just jot this down because would it even be fair to have him, you know, can he get across that little river there, minor river, which I need to look up what that is. You know, if it's 3 turns, then sure, yeah, he could go that way. But if it's 1, he might have to take the most direct route. So the length of the scenario, and then bullet 2, we're going to make check supply levels. I think we gave him too much. I just realized that those are all SPs, not tokens. The Germans probably have too much, all right? And I think the Russians probably have too much due to them being mostly leg. And I just want to point out, this might be boring for some of you, but this is how you learn these games. Russians have too much, question mark. This is how you learn. This is how I like to break it down. And it's not just learning, it's about getting into the system, right? Let's see how we can mess with it. To me, this is fun. I'm sorry it's not an AAR, but I like this kind of stuff, so I get kind of nerdy with it. In my heart, I'm a game designer, but I'm not because I'm too stupid. So I like to take other people's designs and, you know, make stuff with them. All right, so we'll have to look at that. So let's if it's 3 turns, the Russian player really needs to cover that flank, I think, right? I mean, I really do. So 16 is a lot. If you look at the 2nd Panzer, now if we're using Fog of War, the Russian player is not going to know, oh, the German player has this much movement. I can plan for that. But in the back of my mind, I know that. That's why I hate doing solo stuff, because it's just dumb. So it's 8 or 16. But then 16, he's got a really bad, I mean, look at that. But look at his action rating. A 5, right? That is sick. So even with 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, bloop, 5, 6. Well, remember, your ZOCs only get created by, well, it's a combat unit. It's basically any combat unit, but only truck movement has to end if it goes into a ZOC. Leg or track is unaffected. So man, those tanks can fly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we're gonna move him up to here. Let's just mark that down. So we have the 17th Mechanized Brigade going to Hex 1227. And I'm gonna have to take a, you know what? I should probably take a picture of that. Oh, I got it from the beginning of the video. Going to 1227 with fuel from Dankov Supply Depot. All right, we're gonna put him here. The German player, if he wants to get bold, could do 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Man, that's fast. That is really fast. You don't realize how much movement is there until you actually plot that out on a map. All right, we'll move them up 1 to 1227. All right, so we'll move him up. ZOCs are really weird in this game because you can negate them, and leg or track like ignores it. It's just see, I personally, if I had designed it, I would have said that a track ZOC can't be ignored, but that's the way it is. But I could see where, I mean, each hex is what, 5 miles per hex, and that's typical. So I could see that. I mean, this is 5 miles, right? I mean, yeah, okay. I get it. I get it. All right. So he's going to go there. Now, what about these breakdown units? I mean, they're pretty wimpy. They have leg movement. They're not going to do any good here. That's what I'm thinking. So then there's the whole mode thing. God, man, there's so much to take into consideration in this game. Boy. Well, let's take a look at our modes. There's combat mode, right? what you see here, or we could go movement. But I don't think that they need to get any of these. They have no reserve markers, so that's out. Strat mode, no way, right? That's like your extra, you know, movement elsewhere. It's terrible. Exploitation is given out by combat. So yeah, I don't think they're going to go and move or reserve. They have no reserve markers. They're not going to go and move. The Soviet player is thinking, I've got to use this river. You know, so let's pull them back. Leg is +1. You know, I had to pick the worst. I might swap this out because this guy sucks. I need to really give the Soviet player something. Let me get one that's equal to this, because what I was trying to do is this, and I should allow that. So let me fix that. Abracadoo. All right. There. So it's +1 to go over that minor river leg movement. And it's 1 to go into here. So it's 2 and then 2. We're going to pull them back, and they'd have 1 left. They don't need to be fueled because they're leg. Now, what about this town? No, I don't. Any German commander in his worth his salt is not going to go crossing this twice. I think they have to attack. They're going to have to come down here or try to break through here. I did leave a gap there. That was pretty stupid, but I'm not going to take it back. I think these units are going to stay there. And what about building hedgehogs? Let me look that up. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. If you please direct your attention to page 38 of the 4.3 rules. 16.0, you'll see a beautiful little section there about hedgehogs. They come in 4 levels. No hedgehog could ever exceed 4. Hedgehogs can be built or improved only during the movement phase. 1 RE of units that are in combat mode and don't move can improve a level of hedgehog in their hex. Alternatively, an engineer-capable unit can do the work. Okay. 1 RE of units that are... Okay. I could actually build a hedgehog in here. Is that legal? Is that a little bit legal there? A hex can only have its hedgehog level increase 1 per turn. It thus takes 4 turns and 8 SP to build a level 4. Okay. Cool. Let's do that. It's 2 SP. Yeah. All right, we need to burn through that though, right? So let's take a look here. We have REs, as you know, if you're a new player here. These are your REs, your regimental equivalents. A yellow circle means they cannot be rebuilt. So we actually have 4 in here. We'll use the 19th Infantry Division to dig in. They're going to pay 2 SP. Now this is math I can get behind, because we're just going to take this here and we're going to swap that out with the 2. Like so. Oh, I got to clip it. Heaven forbid Hex the Hex is watching this. All right, so I'm going to put 2 out. So maybe that supply is good if they want a hedgehog, right? And he can't move or nothing. So let me get a hedgehog counter. Let me see if I can find one. You know, 1. Does anyone else ever build hedgehogs in this game? I don't know. I feel like I'm the only guy that uses all the weird rules in these systems. People are watching me now like, Jesus Christ, just fucking take the town. All right. But if you're new to this game, I want to show you some of the stuff you can do, right? Because I get excited about this stuff. All right. I forgot the Fog of War rules. I think, does this go on top? I can't remember. I'll have to look that up. Some expert out there, just let me know. Okay. And the other guy's not going to do anything. He's going to stay put. They have no reserve markers. Do hedgehogs have to go on top? Okay, fine, I'll look it up. Okay, Fog, these rules are so stupid. A player can never look through an enemy stack. Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to even bother even risk knocking it over, right? Who cares? However, the enemy player may also see... Okay. However, the enemy player may always see the hedgehog top combat mode attack capable unit in top active plane. All right. Okay. So I'll be like, I mean, both these combat units are the same. So if the German player wants, he can look at that. And then he's going to know that's there. Dankov has been improved. It's a Stalin-fortified village. Okay. Well, kids, I'm trying to think here. What else can be done in the movement phase? Okay, they can also destroy or damage supply dumps, build or improve hedgehogs. Units and supplies can move by rail or sea. The phasing player's active air units can perform missions, but the Russians can never hip shoot, which I think is funny because their air force is brutal until later. And the only reason is because they had more planes, but I'm not going to get into all that. Fighter sweep. Although I guess the Sturmwind was a pretty good plane. Whatever, screw them. Drop. Okay, air transport drop during the movement. Blah blah blah. Okay. Well, then we go to the supply phase. The phasing player must replenish units with lower exhausted internal stocks. He then determines which of his combat units are in trace supply. The Russian player is going to be going off the map. I don't know if you guys want me to mark this. Oh. Well, he's only got... I think he's only got this one down here, right? Is that the legal terminology there? I had to put a red block, a railroad map, a track zone. I think that's it. Well, that's an interesting little theory. I might have to look into that as the German player. Okay, there's not much for the Soviet player to do. Granted, it might be a little bit boring, but we'll see here. Let's take a look at Guderian's Blitzkrieg 2 supply thingies there. I think this might be it. I mean, they're in trace supply. Let me just check real quick here. Let's see what the old... I still can't get over the size of this book. Gee, God, man. Supply. Soviet. All east, north, and south map edge rail entry hexes with the restriction of the AGS progress marker, which we're not using. There's an Army Group South progress marker that could block supply. So we'll be checking trace supply. Trace supply. I gotta tell you guys, it's a lot more fun tweaking a scenario than when you're just playing this game. I think this might be fun. All right, let's follow along and see what happens. I'll be back Friday, but let's just do trace supply real quick because I think their turn might almost be done. You know, the thing with them having too much supply is you got to give each player enough supply to do fun stuff, right? You know, you get these big... I notice every YouTuber that gets these games just plays the biggest scenario right away, right? And you could just see them getting frustrated, and it's like, man, play the smaller ones. Let's get something we can take some chunks out of, right? Look how dumb this one is, but it'll be fun. We'll see. Okay, let's check trace supply. All right, boys and girls, you want to go to 12.6 of your rule book, page 24. Let's see what the rules are. Direct draw and throwing via HQ are used to receive and distribute trace supply. Uh-oh. All right, there are three kinds. Map edge railroad hexes that allow entry, sure, plus other supply sources. Detrainable hexes. Dankov might be detrainable. That is 13.3C. We have established there's a detrainable hex. So that's actually a supply source going all the way back. Dankov is actually a supply source. It's a detrainable hex. And then direct draw and throwing. So direct draw 5, we're good. Even throwing 10, we're good. Okay. So if they were further away from Dankov out here, you would go back 1, 2, 3, 4, and then he would throw 10. Okay. So we're good. Life is good until they see the rumbling and the dust clouds of the 2nd Panzer trundling through the open steppes. Get the vodka ready, boys. Get the vodka ready. Okay. A little bit confused on the trace supply. Not a problem. I just love supply rules. You know me. Reaction phase. The non-phasing player can move his ships in. Nothing to do for the Germans. Combat phase, nope. Exploitation, nope. Cleanup. So that would be the end of the Soviet phase, and that's the end of Soviet phase 1. And then 2nd player, the Germans are next. And I'm going to stop here. We got a long video going. And through the magic of uploading to YouTube, I'm actually traveling when this goes up. I'll come back and finish it. All right, Let me know what you think about the balance of this. You think this is going to be a slaughter, or is that River and the Hedgehog? Was that a good move? What do you think? Moving up the 17th mechanized here. Discuss in the comments. There's so much you can do in this game every turn. And I will admit I'm probably the worst player. You guys comment, and then you blow my mind because I'm like, I never thought of that. So anyway, remember, we're new. We're all new ones. We're new. About to bring another new guy in. So, all right, I will talk to you later. Thanks for watching.